Top 3 transfers for game week 38. Unfortunately, it's the last game week of the season. Fear not, in this video I've got 3 incredible picks for you so you finish the season on a high. Question: why is it the last game of the season we always have these crazy scorelines, unpredictable games, and an influx of goals? And is it something we can take advantage of? Stick around later on in the video, I've got a section on this and hopefully that can give you the edge. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that has subscribed, liked, shared the video, commented. All of that has been appreciated. You've helped me big time this season, and a big thank you to you. Next season got loads more content, loads of collaborations, and just big things in general, so please stick around. The first player we're going to look at is Kai Havertz. He's been in previous videos of mine, and rightly so. He's been on flames. He's become integral to this Arsenal team. Arteta trusts him, his teammates trust him, and you could tell by his minutes recently, he's like Odegaard and Saka. That's important now. Now their fixture is Everton at home, and if you look underneath his picture, in fact, you'll see some of the stats regarding Everton. They've been not too bad recently, but Arsenal fighting for the title. I know it looks like it's gone, but you never know. If West Ham do their job, even a draw, Arsenal needs to be ready to pounce, so that motivation is huge. And when you look at their current form, they've just won the last 6 games, no problem at all. Arsenal look imperious at the moment. If you look at his last 5 returns, only 1 blank, so it's 4 returns, super consistent. 2 of those returns are hauls, double digits, so we love that. Consistency and the haul potential is there with Kai. 12 goals, 10 assists is good going any season, especially at times he's played in midfield and at times striker, and he's had a slow start to his Arsenal career, but now he's fully in the groove. And Arsenal, 88 goals scored, which is second best in the Premier League, and 28 goals conceded, which is by far the best in the Premier League. This season, Kai Havertz had a shooting accuracy of 45%, which is pretty impressive, and he's created 8 big chances. Since game week 25, he's returned 111 points. I'm telling you, he's been on flames. In that period, he's had 6 double-digit returns, so the whole potential is there as well. Before we have a look at the second player, let's take a closer look at last game of the season. And what is the fuss about last game of the season? Well, I did say in the intro, there's an influx of goals, crazy results, and the stats do back that up. There's a percentage increase in goals in the last 10 years of all of the last game of the seasons. Now, we're going into a bit more detail why in a minute. Why does that happen? But for now, have a quick look at just some previous results. So last season, we had Arsenal 5-0 versus Wolves. We had Liverpool Southampton 4-4. What a crazy game. Then we had Leeds versus Spurs 4-1. So you could see that look how much goals there is. The season before that, we had Arsenal 5-1 against Everton. Everton showing up again on the last day of the season. And Norwich versus Spurs 5-0. So just look at the quantity of goals. And the season before that, Man City 5-0 against Everton again. I wonder who Everton are playing this season. Oh yeah, Arsenal. And then Leicester 2-4 versus Spurs. But we could go and look at even other results. But why is it? Why do we get these crazy scorelines and influx of goals? What's the reason behind it? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and I think they all come together to make this last game day just crazy. First of all, you get a conflict of team motivations. You get teams challenging for the Prem, teams challenging for top 4, teams challenging to stay in the league, versus teams who are not fussed. They're not really going anywhere in the league. You could argue they're on the beach. They're less motivated, don't care as much. If your team doesn't have much to play for, meaning not much pressure, you'd be surprised. Some teams perform incredibly well, some teams don't at all. They don't turn up. You have to bear in mind as well, there's a lot of injuries, fatigued players, and managers will rotate teams at times. So you'll see a strange team turning up, playing a team that's got super motivation, challenging for the league. Hence why these scorelines can happen. Another thing to consider is some players are being very cautious and playing just at 50%. 2 reasons. They know there's a summer tournament or there's a cup, whether it's Champions League or FA Cup, so they want to be fit for that. Also, they don't want to get injured before their summer transfer market. Loads of players are looking to move. So when you put all of these things together, I think this comes out as a crazy last day where you can get some huge shocks, huge scorelines, and if you're lucky and you get the player in one of those games, say 8-0, you're laughing. And we should look at the fixtures for game week 38 just so we know the teams we are targeting. Obviously, Arsenal challenging for the Prem, they've got super motivation, versus Everton, who's turned up on a couple of beatings at the last game of the seasons. Interesting. Then we've got Chelsea versus Bournemouth, we've got Liverpool versus Wolves, I mean Klopp's farewell, that should be big enough motivation. Man City at home to West Ham, and Man City challenging for the Premier League, knowing if they win, they are champions. And last, we've got Spurs versus Sheffield United. Yes, it's an away fixture, but it is too good to turn down. This could be the game that gives us the 2-6. You just never know. Time to look at the second player. the King Mohamed Salah. He's been disrespected recently. Yes, I know he's had a difficult finish to the season. And to be honest, so have Liverpool. But look, he's playing Wolves, and if you have a look at Wolves stats below, they've only won 1 in the last 5, so they potentially could be candidates of being on the beach. Now, Liverpool's motivation is Klopp's farewell, and in theory, it could be Mohamed Salah's farewell. We don't know. He's currently on 18 goals, which means you know him. He's going to want 20 goals. I can tell you that for a fact. So I see these games a candidate for 5 or 6-0, and Salah being one of the players that could really haul. Liverpool's form, yeah, it's been a bit stinky, but I do back them to win and finish the season on a high. Salah's returns have also been not great. He's only had 1 return from the last 5, so it means no consistency, albeit it was a double-digit return. He does have 18 goals and 11 assists, which is pretty impressive for a player who hasn't made really any team of the seasons and supposedly having a nightmare. Despite his poor end to the season, this is a player who has passed 200 points again in FPL. You can also add he's had 9 double-digit returns, so you do know he's a hauling machine. His record against Wolves is pretty decent. 4 goals, 5 assists in 11 games. Is this enough for you to punt on Mohamed Salah? And the third player we're going to look at is Alisson. Now, I've seen him play live a couple of times recently. I've been very impressed. He looks like a street footballer, got the skill, the swagger, which we don't see as much in the modern game. You know, the coaching, it just takes it out of them, unfortunately, but he seems to have got through. Now, the fixture is not an easy one, Aston Villa, but I will say this, Aston Villa have started partying from last night, as you saw in the television clips. They've made Champions League because of the Tottenham versus Man City result, so I'm not sure how they're going to be for Sunday. And Crystal Palace's motivation is to finish the season strong, so they start next season strong. And Glasner's made a huge impact. They've won 4 from the last 5. Elisse's last 5 returns are very impressive. 12, 16, 2, 1, 12. So that's 3 returns from 5, which is good consistency, but all 3 were double digits. 10 goals, 5 assists in 1,182 minutes. Very, very impressive. He's currently averaging 6.6 points per match, which is incredible. It's the second best of all the midfielders in FPL. 6 double-digit returns for Alisson, and you have to consider he's hardly played this season. His minutes are very low. He's only 2.1% owned, meaning most other managers in your mini leagues won't own him. So he's a lovely differential, and if you want to be aggressive, this could be the transfer for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Get in the comments and let me know these 2 things. 1, who are you bringing in this week? 2, are you winning your mini leagues? Now that's the important question. Now, before you jump off to your next video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share the video. I'd really appreciate all your support. And on that note, I'm going to wish you good luck and see you on my next video.